All right, what we got? What we got? What we got? Welcome to the Panther Nation Podcast Fantasy Q&A for week number 13. This is David. So some leagues, this is the first week of the playoffs. For others, this is the final week of the regular season. So some people might be in a must-win status. And I'm here to answer your questions to try to get you to the playoffs or get you forward to the next round. Let me see what these inactives looking like. I'm going to go. What's going on? There's 3 people in right now. So I'm going to be clear. You do not fade Lamar Jackson today. You hear me, guys? Do not fade Lamar Jackson today. Even with San Francisco, he's going to hit his floor. So I don't want any Lamar Jackson questions. You're playing Lamar Jackson today. I don't care if it's San Francisco. The only way you might consider it is if you have Pat Mahomes. And if you got both, I don't know why you didn't trade one of them. Edelman and McLaurin, even though McLaurin scares me because Dwayne Haskins can't throw to save his life. So give me Edelman and McLaurin over Hollywood Brown. But I think McLaurin will sneak one in today, even against Carolina. Because I think we should blow these dudes out. So that'll give him garbage points. Worst case scenario. I ain't got too many questions, man. I'm going to disappear. I'll give me a good seat at the bar. Inactive-wise, there's nothing shocking, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that I wouldn't expect. Even though I'm waiting for Carolina's inactives to happen. I don't see it yet. This week is a pretty much straightforward week, though. I don't think, you're going to play your guys. 2 running backs, Carson, Gordon, Geis, Balaj. Give me Carson and Gordon. Because I don't think Adrian Peterson is inactive. So there's going to be a split in Washington. And Balaj is terrible, man. He's had every opportunity, and he ain't taking advantage. Evans or Godwin, if you have them both, you play both. I mean, I don't think that ain't a question at all. If you have both, you play both. You play both if you have both. That's not even a debate. Pass a Brown defense. For DFS. Yeah. This is probably that's probably for DFS, that's probably a flip coin. I mean, you don't know. I mean, Jacksonville's defense hasn't been that good this year. But you can still play both in DFS as well. But you can create a stack with both of them in it with Jameis if you feel froggy. Pats a Brown defense. Who are the Patriots playing today? I think the Browns defense has a lot of upside today, though. Who do the Patriots play today? Because I don't know. Oh, Houston. I'm rolling with Browns. Even though, it's a coin flip. I think the Browns defense is going to do pretty well today against Pittsburgh. Carson, Gordon, or Lindsey, 2 running backs. Man, what are you breaking down? I'm taking Lindsey and Carson. Curtis Samuels or James Washington? Curtis Samuels. Even though Curtis hasn't been doing that too hot, I'm taking Curtis Samuels over James Washington. There are some leagues that actually do have both because there's scenarios where you could have gotten both. Because Godwin went later than Evans, so you could have turned around and got both if you wanted them. Oh, all right. Who do you think? Williams from the Raiders or McCoy in the flex? Yeah, I'm rolling with McCoy there. Two wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Edelman, Cup, and Lockett. Give me Devontae Adams and Edelman. I can't trust Cooper Cup as long as Jared Goff isn't throwing touchdowns. Cup is tough, man. Cup's getting killed because his quarterback is terrible, and they paid that quarterback, by the way. So yeah, give me Adams and Edelman. I'm going with the safe floor. Adams should have a great day today. Against the Giants. It's due for a bounce back. The thing that's interesting about the whole Gazelle versus McCoy is that McCoy could fall back to Darrell Williams. So that's the risk that you're going to take. But I mean, but if you think it's going to be a shootout in Oakland, Williams will probably get him one, probably, maybe. But it all depends on how much you trust Derek Carr. But I think I will roll with the running back there and pray. Oh, God, Miles Sanders or Gurley. Oh, man, Miles Sanders is going to get every single opportunity today. I'm rolling with Miles Sanders because of the matchup, but that's pretty much it. I'm struggling in daily right now on how I might have too much Miles Sanders. I'm thinking about fading him and going to Ajayi just to see if Ajayi sneaks one in. He's much cheaper than Miles Sanders. But Curly, man, who's your other running backs? Give me some other combinations, because sitting Gurley is tough too, because Gurley's going to get the key carries. Yeah, I like Williams a lot today. I don't think I have enough of him. But the thing is, when I play daily, I try to get up to McCaffrey. I've played McCaffrey every single week I've played daily. I play McCaffrey every week. Every single week I play McCaffrey. Shit, I might sit Barkley. Nah, I don't sit Barkley. Even that's tough. Barkley's been terrible. He's a bust. He's been a bust. Even in my fantasy show at the beginning of the season, prior to the season starting, I said Barkley's probably the number one guy, but I wouldn't be mad if you took McCaffrey number one overall because Barkley's been terrible. He hasn't been the same since he's gotten hurt, and he was struggling before that too. What else we got? How many more questions you guys have? Then I'm gonna have to make my disappearance. Should be an easy game today, guys. Should be an easy game today. If we lose to Washington, man, we're not winning no more games this year. And some of you Rivera haters are going to get your wish, and Rivera's going to be out the paint. He might be out the paint already, but that'll confirm it, really. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Thanks, Perth Panther, man. It should be a good game today, man. I'm looking forward to it. Who else you got? Any other questions? No more questions? No more questions. I'm going to leave. And that's great because then I can work on other things. Get to the bar, give me a good spot. No game review. We do it tomorrow. Oh, we decided not to do cross enemy lines this week because of the holiday. We'll be back at it next week, though. I'm pretty sure Rashad's going to find somebody for our next opponent. But I'll tell you what, man. Like last week, I'm gonna be honest. The week before, when Rashad wasn't here, I was so irritated about the Atlanta loss. I had no interest. I had no interest in doing it. I probably could have hit Deuce up, and Deuce would have done it for me. But I was so irritated about how we showed up against Atlanta. I was not interested. You know. And then, we're definitely going to get him. We're definitely going to get him. We're going to try to get Deuce for the final game of the season. But by then, I mean, the Saints already locked up the division. So hopefully by then they might have locked up they might have already locked up home field advantage by then as well, or know whether or not they're going to get it. So that's going to be dependent too. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But it's funny because the Saints season kind of went similar about the situation. You know, we both lost our quarterback early in the year. Bridgewater stepped up and didn't lose a single game, I don't think, the entire way. And it wasn't like the Saints were playing against some terrible teams, too. They beat some pretty good – Teddy Bridgewater beat some pretty good teams during that run. So, you know, I think the Saints might feel like they got their future when Breach decides to hang it up, they might have their next quarterback. Time for the Panthers to tank for better draft picks. Well, you know, a Ron Rivera Panthers team don't tank. They're going to fight to the bitter end. It's just going to be about talent. And the thing is, if the Panthers start knocking some of these wins, it shows how good of a coach Rivera is, man. Because he's had every reason to call the season off, but he's not going to. He's already said that he's not interested in, because Carolina's not mathematically eliminated yet. Now, once that happens, then you're going to find out how they react to it. And then they might decide to rest people. But it depends, because if McCaffrey has a chance to break some records, that might be their salvage the season type moment to try to get those records for Christian. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because McCaffrey wants to break those records. It all depends, right? Because some people are about that life. Because we're going to have to pay McCaffrey. I hope y'all ready for that. You know, and remember, we have a GM who's had a habit of paying running backs a lot of money. Nah, man, Ron's not mediocre. Folks who think Ron's mediocre doesn't watch the NFL, because there's some terrible coaches out there. You saw one of them on Thursday. If you want to see what a mediocre coach looks like, you saw one of them on Thursday. There's no excuse for Dallas to lose to Buffalo the way that they did. None. No excuse. No excuse. No excuse. Dallas is too talented to be losing to Buffalo like that. Losing to Buffalo close game was one thing. Losing to Buffalo like that is another. Dallas is way too talented to be losing to Buffalo like that. At home. On Thanksgiving. Way too talented. Unacceptable. And he might finally get fired. They're not going to fire him. They're just not going to renew his contract. He's on his final deal of his year. No, Buffalo's a great team. I'm not trying to knock Buffalo. I'm just saying the way that they lost to Buffalo is unsat. They should have played way better than they did. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Jason Garrett should have been fired a few years ago. You know, I believe he got hired the same year as Rivera. You can see the difference of what the Panthers have done versus what Garrett has done. Like, Garrett hasn't gotten them to one NFC Championship game. So it's all about perspective. So, you know, don't worry. If we do let Rivera go, Dallas will probably be calling. And there'll be a bunch of other teams that'll probably be calling if we let Rivera go. Dallas will probably be one of the first that'll be called. Well, it depends. If Dallas wants somebody that's actually going to coach and not a puppet, Dallas will be calling Rivera. If Dallas wants a puppet, then Rivera's not your guy because he's not a puppet. I know some of y'all might think he's a puppet, but he's not a puppet. It's far from it. But that's the type of coach Dallas needs, truth be told. Because as much as y'all knock Rivera, Rivera can walk right in there and the boys will probably go to a Super Bowl with all that talent. Because he can coach. Like there's one thing you can knock Rivera on certain things. Rivera can coach. And I think that's a lost art. And I think some Panthers fans, I think there might be a potential that in about 2 or 3 years, if we let Rivera go, that some Panthers fans is going to miss him. But all right. Just remember, God of Blackness, being second place in the fantasy league in the regular season doesn't really mean much of anything. Because then when the playoffs starts, everybody's on even keel. I'd rather be the 6th seed and a fantasy champion than be the 1st seed and not do it and not get there and not win the whole thing. All coaches have their limits, though, man. All right, last call for questions. I'm getting ready to shut her down and get to this bar. The game's not on television this week. Appreciate it, man. It's supposed to snow today. It's supposed to snow in New England today, so I'm starting to prepare for that. All right, man. You guys have a good one. Good game. Should be a good game today, man. I'll see you guys next week. And now all the teams should be in the playoffs next week, so it'll be fun next week. Always remember, keep pounding.